made an absolute Horlicks of that corner, Pendrith. When I want to do an Isadora Duncan, I'll let you know.
Sorry.
I love it. It's so real. I want it. Honestly, we despaired of finding anywhere so perfect, hadn't we, Pendrith?
Yes.
I mean, we've simply got to get out of Chelsea because these days everybody lives in Chelsea.
We don't.
What about Nanny?
Oh, we'll stick Nanny in that funny room at the back.
That was my Gran's room.
Yes, funny Nanny Granny room.
Oh.
So you think you'll be having the house then?
Now, just a minute. Wanting it is one thing, but getting a mortgage is another.
So true.
I know.
Our cleaning lady tried to get one and had a terrible time. No, we'd be cash, of course.
Of course.
What was I going to say? Oh, yes. Can we go now? I'm bloody hungry.
Sorry, once it's trough. In any case, we must leave you two good people to get on with whatever you do.
I collect horse dung on Mondays.
Super. Come on, Pendrith, skippity hop. My Space Invaders wallpaper is going to look wonderful in here.
You stay in here. They're going to have it, so shut up.
Space Invaders.
Shut up!
I shall scream if you sell it to anybody else, Mrs. Elston.
Our chap will be in touch, A.M.
Oh, good. Fine.
I've just had the most wonderful idea, Pendrith. Fish and chips.
You'll want them wrapped in real newspaper, won't you?
Of course.
There's a fish and chip shop round the corner.
How perfect. Finding the house and fish and chips. You see, it is still possible, isn't it? Bye.
Bye.
Peter, what are you laughing about?
The fish and chip shop's closed on Mondays.
Fish and chips in newspaper. I can't stand people who make a thing about eating down. She should have tried wartime Walton pie. That would have cured her.
Tasty. Well, what do you think?
Well,
Yeah. Well, you could probably get used to it.
it's not bad at all, really.
I think it's horrible.
You just be grateful. Lord Walton made up this recipe out of the goodness of his own heart.
But there's no meat in it.
That's the idea, Sonia. You try making the meat ration go round.
Well, we don't have to in the States.
Oh, here we go again.
Dear.
We have great big T-bone steaks with 4 fried eggs on the top and a side order of French fries.
French what?
Chips. Then for afters, we have pineapple chunks or California apricots, peaches. We have everything we like when we're there.
What's all this we have? Never been to America yet.
Well, I will as soon as my Nelson gets home from the war.
Yes, well, until then, just get on with your Walton pie.
I don't want it. It's cheesed off with the old kit and caboodle. Cheesed off with having no clothes, no makeup, nothing decent to eat. Can't even go to a restaurant.
You've never been to a restaurant?
I have. Been to Lyons Corner House with the firm.
Just the one?
I've still been, haven't I?
Don't cheek your father.
That girl's getting a right little madam these days.
You'd be a right little madam if you got married and your husband was sent overseas 2 days later.
Mind you, Mum, she was warned. We all warned her.
None so blind as them as won't listen to you. Ah, true enough.
That should be as none so blind as cannot see, Dad.
Eat your dinner.
Yes, come on. Now, who's going to finish this up?
Perhaps the, cat would like something.
No, I tried it with him a bit earlier. He shot down my shelter with his tail between his legs. Oh, Dad.
It must have been difficult for Sonia. All newly married and no husband. Mary had had a bit of luck for a change. She got posted to a searchlight battery just across the common. She used to come home regularly. And when she couldn't, well, there was always prison visiting.
I hate this wire, Randall.
So do I, Mary.
You see, to me... Hello, Corp. To me, this wire is symbolic of the barrier that comes between people at certain levels.
Yes, I see that, Mary, yes.
Why do you hate the wire, Randall?
It's 'cause I feel so conspicuous. Well, I mean, it's all girls out here.
It was round about this time that Aunt Sadie had her first glimmerings of her psychic power.
Oh, my God!
Harry! Harry! Under the bed!
No, it's all right, Gordon. I had a dream. At least I think it was a dream. It was so vivid.
What? What then?
I know. I just know that someone is going to be called up.
Well, of course they are. There's a war on.
Perhaps it was the pickled onions.
Pickled onions or not, somebody was called up.
Mother! I can't catch my breath. Ma!
It was an ingrown toenail that got Randall called up. Not his. His boss's, Mr. Baxter. The Mr. Baxter who had thus far connived to mark Randall down as reserved occupation. But Mr. Baxter's temporary replacement with 2 sons in the Navy was less sympathetic to backsliding. Randall's mother smelt of camphorated oil, incidentally.
Here, Sadie. Drop of whiskey left over from the wedding.
Oh, thank you, Bet.
Oh, you feeling better now?
Well, quite frankly, I don't think I'll ever be the same woman again. I mean, you can imagine the shock. I hear that Randall's got his call up, and then I realise that I foretold it.
Uncanny.
Yes, it was.
Of course, you know what I think this is.
No.
I think this is Grandma Foster coming out in you.
Oh.
Remember how she used to read the tea leaves?
She did.
Remember that dog we had? Wouldn't go near her.
He wouldn't, would he?
Yes, her blood has come out in you.
I suppose it must have done. Now, the other business makes sense.
What other business?
Well...
Shh, sit, Dad.
What?
No, it's all right. Go on.
Well, I've never told anybody this, but sometimes when I play the piano, I feel funny.
What sort of funny?
I feel as though I'm going to take off.
Upwards?
Yes. Do you see that? Now, why did I touch that piano?
Weird, isn't it? Now, look, Sadie. I want you to promise me something. Now that you've got this power, I want you to promise me you'll use it only for good.
Oh, I wouldn't do anything else, dear. Oh, I say.
Yes, something happened then, didn't it?
Yes, it did. I felt a sudden cold draft on the back of my neck.
Weird.
Uncanny.
Strange thing is, Norman, it's funny to think it's your own wife.
Yes, it must be, yeah.
What do you think I ought to do? Take the doctors? Up the vicar's?
Now, leave well alone, old man.
Oh, yes, only...
You're holding something back, Gordon.
This, power of Sadie's, do you think it goes as far as mind reading?
Why?
Well, man to man, there are certain thoughts about wrens and so forth.
Oh, those? No. Shouldn't think you go as far as that.
It's a relief.
Oh, I'm sorry, Randall. I suppose I'm just being selfish. I know how much you've always wanted to get into the war.
Oh, yes, I have.
I just don't want you to be in it. I don't think I could go through all that again.
Basil, you mean?
Yes.
So, you must care for me a little bit.
Yeah, I suppose I must. I do. I mean, I couldn't stand the thought of you getting machine-gunned or bayoneted or... Are you all right, Randall?
Yes. I think I've had one pipe too many.
Oh, I must go. Shine my light. If I was you, I'd head for the shelters right by the bandstand.
I shall. Still, when I'm in it, it will give me a chance to strike back at the swines for all of this.
You're very brave, Randall.
I'm not, Mary.
Dad, you look like G.H. Eliot.
What you doing?
Oh, I told Mum to stay in bed. Do you want a cup of tea?
Oh, there's a good girl.
Oh, rattled the windows tonight, didn't they?
Good sign. Shows they're still missing Battersea Power Station.
What was it like?
Much the same as any other night. The WVS soup's got better, though.
Dad? Sorry I've been such a ratty little cow lately.
Oh, no. Lack of oats, love.
Huh? Oh, yeah, I suppose it is.
Don't blush, girl. I'm old enough to be your father.
You're not such a stupid old twerp after all, are you? You don't have to look tired. Why don't you have your tea and go to bed?
Oh, no. Got to be at work in a couple of hours. I think I'll have a bath.
I'll run it for you. And I'll tell you what, I'll let you have 6 inches of water instead of 5.
No, you don't. The King and Queen bath in 5 inches of water, and so will I.
How do you know they can only have 5 inches of water?
Because they are the King and Queen.
We all had a bath that morning. All in the same 5 inches of water. I was last. I must have come out dirtier than I went in.
Are you out of that bath yet? Yes, Mum.
How many times have I told you slosh it round or you'll leave a tape mark? And you've left the soap in here again. There was 3 ounces there. How are we going to make that last a month?
Easy. Don't have washes.
You little tuck. Come on. What have you been doing all this time, eh?
Playing boat.
Oh, playing boats.
I wonder what Randall bathed in. I think it must have been some magic elixir that made your feet heavier so that you always fell on them.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, young man, that I find it quite impossible to pass you fit for any kind of military service. It's nothing to worry about, but that little do you had when you were a child left a bit of a scar on the lung. Can't use you. Sorry.
Heavens. It's very disappointing.
Sorry.
It's, just that I had my heart set on the Marines, sir.
Okay, my boy. I'm sure you're doing a very worthwhile job on the home front.
Yes, but it's not the same, though, is it?
We must all do our bit in our different way.
Very well, sir. Try and remember what you say.
Chin up.
Oh, cheer yourself up, Randall. Not everybody can be in the services.
It's just that I had my heart set on it, Mrs. Elston. I should just have to be the Royal Marine that never was.
Well, I'm glad, Randall. And I don't care who knows it.
There.
Well, I'm glad that you're glad, Mary. It's the only consolation for me in all of this.
Yeah, no wonder Sonia had actually volunteered to do the shopping.
One thing puzzles me, Sade. You foretold Randall being called up, but you didn't foretell him failing his medical. Now, why do you think that would be?
Who knows? You see, I'm a new phenomenon, and I don't know all the technical sides yet.
It's my belief that the occult should be left well alone. We certainly wouldn't allow it in the boys' brigade.
You don't choose it. You have it thrust on you.
Like freckles, Aunt Sadie.
I suppose so, yes.
Yes, but your freckle has more to do with the sun, hasn't it? I mean, this is a more inward thing, surely.
Yes.
Is that what Grandma thought?
She did. You see, there was a certain look
I don't
about
know whether I've told you this, but
I think the word is mystic. There was a mystic.
I don't know whether I've told you this, but when I failed my medical, I nearly shot myself.
Oh!
What with, Randall?
Well, I said nearly, Mary.
Oh, don't take it so hard.
Well, how else can I take it? I mean, there's your brother, Sonia's husband, out there in North Africa, and where's my battlefront? Behind a desk at Croydon.
Oh,
Yeah. But even Randall didn't have all the angels on his side. There was one of ours on the doorstep.
sure we're used to that.
Mum, there's a policeman at the doorstep.
Oh, my God, something's happened.
I shall deal with this. Excuse me.
It's all right, Mrs. Elton. It's good news.
Oh, come in, Mr. John. It's all right. All right. Good news.
What?
I don't know. He hasn't told me yet.
It's your husband, Mrs. Elston. My superintendent is recommending him for a commendation for bravery.
Norman?
Yes. Hasn't he told you about it?
No, what?
Last night. The bombing up Deborah Road.
No, not especially.
There was only one wall standing, you see. And that was ready to come down, but he wouldn't come out because he reckoned he'd found somebody there. He was right. This old lady it was. He got her out. I suppose the wall missed them by a couple of feet. I think it's the bravest thing I've ever seen.
He just had his powdered egg and he went to work.
He's my dad.
I've always thought that Norman ran deep.
It's always the quiet ones, isn't it?
Who did that?
What?
That?
Oh, I fell over.
Where?
On the stairs.
Were you drunk?
Oh, no.
He's coming!
Good evening, Mr. Blackrose.
Evening, Mr. Elston. Your runners are doing well, aren't they? I saw them over the fence this morning. Up like that, aren't they?
Good year for runners. Providing the black fly keeps off, of course.
Yeah. I must get on.
Wherever there's a turning wheel, a million marching feet. Red, white and blue, what does it mean to you? Shall your love brings away the empire rule. It depends on you. We'll remain near the chains, nothing can break. There'll always be an England.
What's this, Abdul?
England shall be free. England means as much to you as England means to me.
Sort of, Norman.
Oh. Well, I'll just go have my tea.
No.
Come here.
just like to say a few words.
Oh, all right.
Norman?
Gordon?
No. No. Norman, it Hoves? Oh. It Hoves... Sorry. Just... Norman, it behoves me, as the eldest male here... except for Grandad, on behalf of whose part I am doing it of anyway, to say a few words. I am reminded of this juncture of the Archbishop who...
Gordon.
Well, I won't tell that one then. The Archbishop who...
All right.
Let's see. Bishop who... day of the week. But no, I am talking about one day of the week, ipso facto yesterday, and not only talking of this ipso facto day, but of a particular man. Which, of course, reminds me of another anecdote.
Gordon.
There was... Look, Sadie, who's making this speech? Me or you? Look what you made me do.
What is all this?
It's you silly ass. Pulling people out of houses, walls falling on top of you. What do you want to do a dangerous thing like that for?
Oh. Well, you just do, don't you?
Dad got his commendation for bravery. We hung it on the wall in the front room. I don't know where it is now. I think I'll look for it tonight. I'm glad we decided not to sell in the end. Jill didn't really need a lot of persuading. I suppose my final argument really got to her. I said, well, you just don't, do you?
And that was the last in the present series of Now and Then.